Do you click live? Oh, yeah, it's live. We are live.
And we are alive.
Hmm.
I
Still
love the, I love this beginning of ours when you say we are live and then I add we are alive. It's kind
nice.
of tradition, right?
I like it.
Mm. Well, beautiful people, welcome once more. This time we didn't announce the topic in advance. It's very spontaneous as our holiday season is still continuing and we were contemplating on the topic what to share. So today's top, you know what? Let's start from the beginning so it will be ready for the podcast. Welcome, dear beautiful people. Welcome to our beautiful space of Tilly, Lily, and the universe.
Yeah.
And yes, and today in our on our menu is episode 6 and the topic is the power of letting go. We will be discussing this topic from many different aspects. So please welcome to join the discussion. We are always happy to see people being curious or sharing their own perspectives that we can interact with as well. And we will touch upon what letting go is for us, how it plays a vital role in manifesting what we actually desire, and how we personally are dealing with letting go, and what is the present moment for us when it comes to this topic. So, Tilly, should we introduce ourselves?
Yeah, I think we can. Um, well, I'm Matilda and I like to sing mantras and I love to talk about spirituality. That's it.
And you're also Tilly, right?
Yes, I'm Tilly. good, good to point out. Mhm.
Yeah. And I am Lily. I am authenticity coach and artist who loves also expressing myself in many different ways. One of those is speaking wisdom about many different topics like fundamental questions about life, what Tilly really compliments me and I compliment her and we enjoy doing that. And yeah, let's dive into the topic, the power of letting go. So, Tilly, I have a question
Yeah,
for you.
okay.
What is letting go for you? How what does it mean for you? And yeah, let's start from what does it mean for you?
Mm, it can be different things from an emotion to people to a desire, and it's always, of course, a relieving feeling. Sometimes you really want it yourself, and sometimes it feels like the universe is saying to you or forcing you in a way to let something go that might not be super good for you, but you want to hold on to it. And sometimes it feels it's very clear, like this is something I want to leave behind, and yeah, especially with emotions, I always want to let them go. Um, so that's more clear. Yeah.
Beautiful. So what I heard from you, how you see letting go, it's a process like very, uh, how you say it in English, very having many layers,
Hmm.
right? That
I like that description. Yeah.
that it can be on the mental, on the emotional level, on the spiritual, and even on the practical level. And
Yes.
I laughed silently when you were speaking, when you told that if you don't let go, universe will force you to do that.
Uh-huh.
It's it's so much familiar for me because I'm as a fixed sign Scorpio. You, by
Mm.
the way, as well, we like to stay attached
Ah,
for
yes. Is
dear
that
life.
an extra common thread for Scorpio signs? Ah,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, okay.
Scorpios, as a few other signs, they are those who don't like to change,
Okay.
don't like to let go because comfort zone feels more
Mm.
safe.
Yes. Oh, that's interesting to hear. Yeah. I actually
Yeah.
saw a meme on Instagram yesterday of a girl. It's like this thing where you go on as a kid that you have to hold on onto the horse and then it goes like up and down to kick you off. And I'm not sure if you know that. And it was also the title "Me" of the universe when I try to hold on to something, and at some point you just can't. You can do your best though, but the easier you flow with it, it's the better I think. Yeah.
Beautiful. I like that meme. And what I saw when it comes to this topic, that a little girl holding a teddy bear, like pretty small teddy bear, and Jesus is on his knee in front of her, and behind him he holds a huge teddy bear, and with another hand he's
Oh,
asking for that small one. So it's kind of, if you give me that small one that you hold on so much to, look
wow,
what you will get. But he
wow,
doesn't show it. It's
beautiful.
just asking, trust, trust that you will get better, that you will get
Yeah,
more.
that's so beautiful. This is what you visualize now during the story or with the topic, or you know this as a from a book or something.
I saw it
Hmm.
on social media, so
Ah, okay,
yeah.
like a photo. Ah, beautiful. Yeah, I love it. I think that's the most tricky part because then if we would or everyone would be the girl, you don't know that a bigger teddy bear will come, so you have to trust. Yeah, that's the theme of it all.
Yeah.
Cool. I will remember this.
If I find that visual, I will definitely send you.
Yes, please. And for you, what does it mean?
Actually, you vocalized it very well for me. Because for me, it
Yes.
also means, uh, let's say like that. For me, it means making space for the
Mm-hmm.
new to come, and also it means trust. Those
Yeah.
two. But I agree with everything that you said, that letting go has different dimensions, different levels, and like letting go emotional attachment, physical attachment. So, and it comes by the feeling. We just, I just feel in the spirit. I can't tell for others, but when it's time for me to let go, I feel it in my spirit, and all my inner being just screams. If I for a longer time resist it, it just, then my even body starts giving up on me if I don't listen.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me it's like trusting that inner wisdom, that inner voice that guides to the action of letting go, whether it's the thought, emotion, behavior, a person, a thing. So, yeah, that's what it means for me.
Beautiful. Clear. And do you
Okay,
always, or yeah,
t-
maybe you had
no,
a
no, no,
question.
tell me.
Is it also sometimes a fun process, or is it always a bit of a struggle? I wonder now for myself too.
Good question.
Mm.
It depends. It depends, actually, I would say, on what I need to
Mm.
release. And it depends on, I would say, yeah, I would say that it depends on which state my nervous system is. As more nervous system is balanced and worked on, as easier it is to let go. And why I'm
Okay.
saying this, because if there is a lot of fear in the human's body and our cells are addicted to certain emotion, fear is emotion, a special chemical like stress hormone, right? If our body is more addicted to that chemical hormone like stress, we will be more fearful to let go.
Mm.
So, in order to make that process easier for us, we need to work on our mental well being and not to count, how to say, not to save on investing into that. Because I really, when I meet people and I talk to them, I say, look, please just love yourself. Just invest into your well being if you don't. Because yesterday I was traveling by BlaBlaCar, and a driver, she is just after a breakup, 3 months, and I told her, look, I know that you can do it alone on your own, but believe me, if you want a faster progress, ask for help and
Mm.
support.
Oh
So
wow. She had a good company with you as a mental support. Nice.
yeah,
Mm.
I would say if I am in a lot of fear, if I don't trust life and myself, if I don't have a connection to the spiritual world, then it will be very hard for me. And it was
Mm.
very hard for me. And even now, when I do have that connection developed and I trust the process, even then at times it's not easy at times to let go. As I told you today, some
Mm-hmm.
clothes.
What did you say at last?
As today, so I told you by the phone,
Mm-hmm.
some clothes, right?
Mm.
Because
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. You
I'm
have to get
doing
rid of
a
them.
cleanup, yeah, a release of a lot of clothes, and my guidance is to release 90% of my clothes and keep it to just a very few. And
Mm.
I'm like debating with the spirit. I'm like, no, look, it looks so good. It feels so good. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
let go, but something inside of me is urging me, no,
Yeah.
do it.
Yes.
So it depends.
And
And for
can you
you?
always pinpoint then this feeling you have that spirit is telling you, oh, you have to get rid of some clothes? How do you always know clearly that it's really a guidance from a higher realm or just a random thought? Because sometimes I can discern very easily because the one feels more powerful, clear, or comes from love and the other from lack. But sometimes I'm confused. Should I listen to this feeling? Or maybe you're better in discerning what's your intuition and what's just random blah passing by.
But what, Tilly, what is a random blah? What could it be?
Yeah, that's like in this case with your clothing. I would not know why that would pop up without any reason. But maybe it's overthinking sometimes that I do, that I get confused now. Um, are these my thoughts coming from lack, or was this a clear message that came through?
Mm-hmm.
If this makes sense, I could clarify it maybe with the job.
Yes.
Okay.
So give the example, because the example that I shared from my with this clothes, it's very obvious that it's
Okay.
my inner guidance, because um it doesn't come from the space of lack. Opposite, it leads
That's
me to
true.
the
It's
space
true.
of
It wants
lack,
you to
right?
get rid of it. Yeah, okay. That's true.
So
Uh,
tell me the example.
well, I had one with my job. I used to teach Dutch. Well, I still do have partly, but in June I felt, oh, I'm so ready for something new, and I felt this was a pure guidance. So I, without having a new job, I quit like 75% of my students, and I wrote to them, I'm ready for something new, new chapter, and I said that to everyone. I'm done teaching, and then out of nowhere, 1 week ago, after I again said many times, I'm done teaching, I want something new, I had this idea popping up like, oh, but my money is getting limited now. Maybe I should, in the meantime, reopen my account to teach more again. And that I was really in doubt, is this coming from lack? Or is this a true guidance that says, hey, maybe it's a better plan to open your profile? Um, and it felt off. I really tried to discern, should I just keep letting go of this Dutch teaching and trust that the new job will be there? Or is it actually a good plan to reopen it? So that was for me something that I found difficult, and I think I misjudged it. I
And
failed
this
the
is,
test. Yeah,
well, later share with us also what happened, but for
yeah,
now, what I hear, what I want to say that, first of all, this is a very common situation lately, especially when I listen to the stories, what people are going through. It's the same topic dominant.
yeah,
People find themselves, myself included, in some kind of corridor between the past and the future.
yeah.
That one feet in the past, one in the future. It's somewhere in between. And this is the space of the void
Mm.
that feels very uncomfortable. And
Yes. Oh
people
wow.
do all the best to escape it because it brings up all the fears.
Mm. Oh wow. That's accurate for what I felt today. Also. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm in
Yeah, and
void now.
but that's the best place to be at, even if it feels uncomfortable, because the
Okay.
void is when all the creation happens. And now we are going very beautifully into the powerful purpose of letting go and how it plays a part in manifestation process.
Mm.
So in order before what is must manifest what is not. So it creates a void that later the universe can fill with what is.
Wow. So beautiful. That makes me smile.
So now, when it comes to your Dutch teaching, this was something you were doing uh, that for some time it was okay, but it wasn't something that fulfilled you, right?
Not anymore.
Yeah, that
Yeah, exactly.
expiration time
Yeah.
happened. So now, how to say, that void happens. That's why we need to release and letting go and to let go, whether it's people, places, situations, any kind of emotional attachments to anything that we can feel that reached the expiration date, right? So
Hmm.
when we do that, when we let go the all, we create the void, the space for the new to come. But the tricky part is that that empty space takes might take a longer time.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah.
Yes, and people freak out then, and then the mind turns on because first they follow the heart that, okay, my heart tells, let it go, and then time passes. Oh my God, my manifestation is not happening. Wow. Did I make a mistake? And they start overthinking, myself included.
Hmm.
Uh, and I realized that if I try to go back, if it's not meant something for me, it will not happen anyway.
Hmm.
N- Now, because when I tried to hold on to my past job when it was time for me to start coaching, I didn't get any client for my previous job that I was freelancer on a page. I used to get like at least minimum five uh, requests from potential clients, and the last half year it was zero. I was maybe something is wrong with the system that it's not possible to not to get
Yeah.
any request. So as it as you told, life will rip everything away if you still will try to hold on to.
Okay. So you decided also for this profile, it's time to let this go. Because I do believe this is how it works, and I had also a similar experience on a platform where I provided myself as a singer. First, I had like quite some uh, people applying, and now not anymore for the last months, and it frustrated me. And I thought the same. And then I wondered, what if it's something in my feeling of abundance and feeling of lack, and if it's my own, fault, so to say, or is it indeed the universe saying to me, "This is not the platform or the way you want to go. Focus on something else." Do you
Mm.
understand?
What was
How do
that
you discern?
sing? What
Hmm?
what was that singing about? I'm wondering.
It's just a website where people can ask me to sing a song they wrote, and they need a singer, for example, or like for a commercial. They can just reach out to you.
Hmm. It how to say in this case, I wouldn't overthink too much
Mm.
because if something that used to happen very naturally now is not,
No.
and you need to observe your own actions and thoughts, what could have caused that, right? If you didn't do anything like unusual that could intervene with that, then there's no reason for you not to get, because that's the way I felt when I couldn't get any client and life was pushing me to start coaching. I was like, but there's no any logical reason for me not to get even single request. It
Mhm.
just didn't make sense. So it was the reason because it was a redirection. A rejection is God's protection because He redirects you.
Okay, that's beautiful. I like that.
It means somewhere else, some other channel is for you.
Mm.
And I would say, whatever, when it comes to manifestation, um, the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
If something doesn't work, don't push it.
Okay, that's something I will remember too.
Because there is a trap actually, and I got myself into that um a fight between two beliefs. One belief that tells life just tests you, how much persistent you are, how much you want
Exactly.
it, right?
Exactly. That I had too. Yeah.
And another belief is what is yours will flow easy.
But then I have. Sorry, were you finished or you
I'm
want?
done, yeah.
Okay. Then maybe this is another topic. So tell me if it's too big to discuss. But then I wonder, oh, like what is this whole idea about infinite possibilities, manifestation, what you want, and at the same time there's life, which is apparently something we are, but also in a way then outside of us that guides us the way. That confuses me. Um, So should I let go then of all my personal desires and say to God, your will is my will? I'm also the creator. So that I just sometimes then I doubt um,
Yeah,
what
I
to do.
know what you mean.
But this is maybe for another topic. So I don't
But
know.
wait a second. Why? It's when it comes to the topic of letting go.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
do I understand you correctly that that's something that is not working out for you, but it is something that you desire? Does it mean that you need to let go?
Yes, exactly. Because, or let go in general of all your desires, um, and see what happens, what life has to offer to you.
Okay. So I would say, and all that I'm sharing is totally my perspective.
Mhm.
Mm, be, how to say, consult with yourself if it resonates or no.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to desires, I am a strong believer that we need desires. That desires is a driving force of expansion of the universe, of the planet, of humanity, civilizations, and so on. Mm, it's just important to recognize where the desire is coming from. Is it from ego or is it from authentic place from your spirit?
Mm.
Is it more self-serving or is it more benefiting uh, not
Ah,
only you but
the
others
whole.
as well?
Yeah, wow. That's a good question.
Because if it's only benefiting oneself, then yes, a person can achieve and get what they want. But I believe that the time will come when the universe will say, enough is enough. Wake
Mm.
up. What are you doing? Because probably the person had to achieve that selfish based desires just to realize that it's not fulfilling.
Mm. Wow. That's a very beautiful perspective. I mean,
So,
indeed, in my life, the experiences I had where my desires were very selfless, and also even for someone else,
mm,
it manifested so quick. So, as if you're supported, or the energy of love is maybe very strong, or I don't know how it works, but this resonates. What you say?
look, one more thing I want to point out. Thank you so much for mm, po- uh, reminding me.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong to want for yourself because it's important to meet our needs. It's all about the inner child. For example, where those desires come from. This is the language also of our inner child who says, hey, I would love to experience this aspect of life. Hey, I would like to experience this aspect of life. And there is no good or bad choice. It's just like exploration of life. And then based
Mm.
on the results that we get by getting that what we want, we become more wiser.
Mm.
So if you have some desires that are based just about your personal needs, nothing wrong with it. Actually, I find myself now pretty much in that space. And it was last week during the holidays when I realized that I was literally running from myself in a very original way by repeating the inner dialogue that manifested in the behavior pattern that comes from my mom, lineage from my mom, that always be there for others. Like, sacrifice yourself for others. And I realized that by giving to others, by helping others, by doing for others, actually what was happening, I was running away from myself. And I realized that I abandoned my own needs, my own desires, for the sake of the unconscious belief that I inherited because I learned
Hmm.
that I need to be strong for others.
Yeah.
But where am I? Where am I in all of this story? And I realized that I don't even want to coach anymore. Now I'm realizing that I don't want to coach anymore. I like sharing, I like expressing, and this will stay, of course. But I started writing down actually what my desires are and what how I want to express myself. What my inner child would like to do. Is it
Hmm.
painting? Is it singing? Is it dancing? What is it? And I realized I don't want to deal with problems of other people just to help
Hmm.
them. I want to be expression of light instead of the sponge of the dark.
Oh, wow. That's a great metaphor.
I don't know how I ended up here, but hmm. Yeah, it was a question from you about uh, is it a good idea to have desires? And
Yeah.
my answer is definitely yes. Have those
Yeah.
desires. And actually, it's a question about self-worth also. Do you feel good enough? Do you feel worthy to receive what your heart desires? Do you trust that you are worthy enough to receive?
That I will ask myself also later.
Mm.
Important question.
Yeah, and this it's very important to remind ourselves that and keep questioning,
Mm.
keep asking that question. Like when we start doubting about our desires that those will not be met, just stop and ask
Yeah.
that child, inner child, why don't you believe that you are
Hmm.
worthy to receive what you
Yeah,
want?
this lack of faith is super annoying, recurring topic, unfortunately. Yeah.
But it's normal, it's human.
Well, I think indeed, as a child, I never really had problems with this. It is, of course, the moment thoughts become more, yeah, how do you say this? Um, More often in your head when you get older. So I know it's so silly to keep being attached to those feelings of thoughts of lack or fear or worry. But we, yeah, we believed it for so long. I guess it takes some time to clean it out of the system.
And
Um,
you know what? Yeah, I completely agree with you. What you mentioned is so powerful that um, when you was when you were a child, when you were yeah,
or,
a
yeah,
kid, that everything was possible for you, right?
yes, yeah.
For me too. It was unlimited possibilities, and ima- have I ever told you that? uh, I so much believe that I can fly that I made the wings from carton pieces. I wrapped it around. Went outside, stood up on the bench, jumped, and I was flying.
Nice. Wow.
And then I attracted all kids from my neighborhood, and the next day, all neighborhood kids came out with their wings, and everybody were flying from
Super
benches.
cool. That's really fun.
Yeah,
Mm,
and even though I didn't fly like bird, but I believe that for a
yeah.
few seconds I flied. So that's so true. And I also was wondering, when was the moment I would say, when life started not feeling so easy.
I
And
think when I was 17 maybe.
Mm,
Before that, I also had infinite imagination when it came to making YouTube videos, or I was playing these films in my head always until 3 a.m. at night, and I don't know, it was so fun to do. And at some point, out of nowhere, it switched to like, no, but this is not realistic. No, this I cannot make. Um, or why would I think about this if I can bring it into reality anyway? Stuff like that, withholding you from this joy. Um, yeah, I don't know. It was a pretty fast switch, unfortunately, to realistic world, which is non-existent, but you think it is.
yeah, and I see that it's the same as for me. I was last week on holidays and I was also in pretty much contemplation around the topic. Like, when was that moment when the life started feeling not easy for me?
Mm.
And I realized that because the moment I started doing what I need to do rather than what I want to do, my life started going down.
Ah,
And those thoughts came from the outside world, from those beliefs from many different people that, oh, you're too dreamy, oh, you're too this, too
yes.
that, oh,
Yes,
come back to earth, something
exactly.
like that, like uh,
Yeah.
time to grow up and so on. Like, so then my mind turned on and my mind started leading my path instead of my heart. And I, even with the coaching, yes, first I enjoyed working with people, but in time I was not aware how it became my default mechanism that was actually disconnecting me from my true nature. And my true nature is not to deal with the problems. My true nature is to express love and joy and the beauty and creativity. And but I was in
Well
that
said.
rut of doing because I have
Mhm.
to. I have to
Yes,
earn
yes,
money, right?
exactly. Yeah, that's I can relate for sure. When I was thinking now of the next coming months, it's all the super logical things like, oh, a new job, house, and then if I have that all settled, then I will do some creative things. So I was already making a plan, and then I just feel like sharing because I think it's beautiful. I pulled a card, and I asked like, what is the best I can do um, right now, the best action I could take, whatever. And the one that came out was, it's Dutch, but what asks your soul you to do? So it was like so clear. Don't think about the job, how to get money, how to get food. That's all taken care of. But what does your soul ask you to do? And then what pops up is singing, or yeah, it's so simple actually. But well, I mean, yes, it is simple and not at the same time.
It is
Or maybe it
this.
is when the mind is not there.
Mm, it's not simple. I mean, theoretically simple. Practically, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Because the mind still goes and wanders to those material questions. But I need money to
Yeah,
survive, to pay bills, and so on. How will I do it? And that
exactly.
lack of trust in the invisible, intangible information, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say also, if you don't feel comfortable in jumping from one extreme to another. By the way, I hear some sound. Okay. Uh,
Is it gone?
I it some sound was disturbing. I guess you was touching the mic, so no, no, it's
Oh,
okay
that
now.
could be. Then maybe I'm not even speaking from this mic, but from my laptop. But yeah, okay,
Yeah, it might be. Okay, so what I
okay.
was saying that if there is a fear to jump fully into one's passion and trust the process that your needs will be taken care of, then yes, you can still be in a how to say, half, just to keep the balance so you don't fall into too much into fear. What do I mean by that? If a person has a job that is well paid, and suddenly spirits calls a person, no, go completely do something else. It doesn't mean that a person needs to quit the job altogether. It means give more time to your passion. So it means make, if it's possible, work
Mm-hmm.
less hours, and more hours invest in time. That transition will be easier because it will not be like, okay, oh shit, I don't have any money. So then in that stress we are not able to create. But if we have a physical material foundation, at least some knowing that we will constantly get money, it's easier. Otherwise, you will need to put a lot of effort in stabilizing your nervous system, and I'm telling it
Exactly.
from my space.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's why I also had in mind first I need a job, then a house, because then I also think it will give me a little bit more freedom. But at the same time, it's maybe not the way to go, and you can just trust in your passion. But it's beautiful you say that a balance with some job could be wise and actually benefiting also your creativity.
And also, you know what? Why I think it is important to have that balance, still keep the job, especially for entrepreneurs, that while still is a beginning of entrepreneurship, a person will spend most of the time at home next to the computer, right? That's how it looks, more or less. That's contacting people, putting information on social medias, and then a person is not out into the world communicating directly with people, not that much.
Mm.
So locking it only inside is not a good idea. I did that, and I learned my lesson that
Mm.
no, I need to be around people as well, and to share myself with others, because everywhere you go, you bring yourself, right? So your singing can go everywhere you go. So you go to some job, people get to know you as a singer. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe some contacts will happen through those
True.
connections.
Snowball effect. Yeah.
But just important is that the job that you choose to invest your time doesn't take more time than your passion,
Mm.
and that job is not something that goes against your values. Like, I would, for example, I would never sign up for a job that includes working with some chemicals, like
No,
cleaning.
exactly. I
So
understand what you
yeah,
mean.
so don't sell your soul
No.
for money. But if there is some job that includes people, social interactions, where you can show yourself as a singer,
Mm.
why not?
Yeah. Wise words.
Hmm. The topic of letting go, the power of letting go. I think we lost the topic.
I had a question about it earlier, but now I also forgot. Let me think a bit.
So letting go. Okay. Oh, I see we have a few people. Let me see the chat. Okay. No, people don't have
Oh, I can
questions.
maybe share
Okay.
something about the importance of letting go. I saw this in a podcast from Mel Roberts. I actually forgot her name. It's a woman. Um, and she shared that if a tree transforms in autumn, it lets go of its leaves. And I actually never thought of why. but apparently it has to survive. Otherwise, it dies. And now I also forgot why it would die then, but it dies when it won't let go of its leaves. So it's important for the tree. And she says it's the same with humans. We won't really literally die, maybe, but you're really withholding yourself from something beautifully new. Um, and it's important for your health, physical and mental health, to let go. And she says also it's done with it blink of an eye, and only the mind can try to hold on or keep repeating memories for a long time. But it's really simple, actually, in her opinion. And I thought this metaphor of a tree was quite powerful, because then for me it felt like an extra motivation to let go, for example, of habits or people, because you really feel, or a job, like this is really important for me and for my well-being. um, yeah, so it's not only a preference then, but also a necessity. Can you say that?
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. And actually, I would say that people are dying because they are not letting go.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't know that.
The body keeps the score. Pe- if people don't let go emotions and they hold on
Mm.
for dear life to resentment, to anger, to frustration, everything that is not love, if people hold on to that, their body will give up on them.
Yeah, fair
That's why
enough.
we have a generation of cancer illnesses. Where all of that comes from? It depends
Mm.
which part of the body cancer is, shows what a person is not letting go. For example, liver, if I remember well, holds stores the anger. So
Oh,
people who
okay.
have liver problems, they never express anger.
Wow.
So we are like that tree. We are dying if we are not
Mm.
letting go.
Okay, that makes it even more powerful motivation to let go.
Yeah, and okay, that's a whole another topic, how to let go. Because just to convince oneself on the mental level that I'm letting go is not enough.
Mm.
Because first level is to know mentally, another level is to experience on the emotional level. So, okay, this will be for next time, but also what I wanted to touch upon, um, when you shared, it popped up for me. Yeah, about letting go people, places, situations, that it's very important. Um, the reason why people resist letting go is, yes, one of reasons is fear and not trusting that they will be provided. Another reason is when it comes to letting go of people, it can be a fear of abandoning another person,
Mm, guilt, maybe.
guilt and shame,
Mm.
yeah, of choosing what's best for me, what's better for me. So putting myself first, and then the rest, choosing what's best for me,
Yeah.
brings guilt and shame because we are taught to be always in service for others, to sacrifice ourselves for
Mm.
others and forget ourselves. And this, the moment we feel guilt, this is the sign that that's exactly what we need to do.
Mm. Oh, that's a great positive way of looking at it. I definitely had this experience with some people. Um, and I actually sang a mantra for forgiveness, and it helped to release it. I started to cry a lot.
Hmm.
But next time I can maybe look at the guilt as a positive sign. Like, yes, this is what I should do. Um, yeah, beautiful.
There's no growth without guilt.
Hmm. I never thought of that. We'll keep it in mind.
The same as those emotional attachments to our family members. Uh, when a mother attaches to a child, a father doesn't so much, but a mother is very usually emotional, and she attaches emotionally to a child. And it's very common in the previous generations that the belief that a child uh, comes to parents, while now people are more freeing themselves from that belief, and they know children come through parents. Parent is just a vessel to bring a child into the world, but
Mm,
not to own them.
no.
And um, that because of that old belief, a child grows up in that family that w- raised on that unconscious feeling of guilt that, okay, I got so much from my parents, I need to be there for them when they need me. I need to do what they ask me to do. But in order to grow, we need to go through that phase of guilt and
Mm,
choose us anyway.
nice. Very
And
clear.
and also the sense of belonging, why people are afraid of letting go other people like friends, right, who
Yeah.
don't resonate anymore,
Mm,
because then, and I can tell from my experience, I let go most of my friends. Basically, okay, only two friends stayed when I had crowds of people around me. And it's a pretty scary place to be at. And that need to belong is one of reasons why it's hard to let go people, because then we feel that we don't belong, we don't have our space, our place in
yeah.
this life. And
True.
because we are humans, this is our one of primal need to belong and to be in the community.
Mm,
But as with that manifestation, as we were talking, that by releasing what is not good for us, we need to trust that what is good for us is coming. We just need to wait and trust and do the best, follow our inner guidance, what to do, when to do.
trust, trust, trust. It's a team of everything. Okay. I will. Yeah, I can relate with letting go of people. It feels a bit scary indeed to have a sort of in between phase, which is more alone. And in a way, it's nice because you chose that. But it also feels scary like, well, what am I doing? And why did I let go of something that was nice for a while? With the emphasis on was.
But what is your story about letting go of your friends?
Well, I think at some point, I just couldn't really level anymore at the conversations. Um, like I only want to talk about stuff like I do with you, and not really about, in my opinion, jobs or salary. Well, it's not that they always talked about salary and jobs, but I felt it was not completely my topics of conversation that I liked, and also a lot of fear and insecurities. And of course, I have those too sometimes, but I want to focus on improving yourself and on the love. Uh, so yeah, I guess it just at some point I felt that it's better to let go. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
you felt it, your heart felt it.
Mhm. Yeah, indeed. You cannot really explain with the mind. It's just a feeling.
I mean, in your case, it's also logical, because if you
Mm.
can't relate, can't find common topics and enjoy time together with a person, then logical that why should I choose that person in my life? They are
Yeah,
good for somebody else that they can
true.
enjoy together, but for me, and I also noticed for me also lately is I realized that it's very important for me to choose people who support me, because I found myself, even with those two friends, one of those where I started feeling like very uh, pushed down, like a person who didn't really see me.
Mm.
And then others started coming in as a um, contra experience for me, showing that, hey, Lily, feel how it feels when people support you, when people see your light, when people believe in you. Which of those two feel better? And of
Yeah.
course, I started leaning to that which feels better and feels more loving.
Yeah.
So that's why I think, even if we don't have those people yet coming, we need to trust that it's coming, because that's how
Mm.
you found me, right? And some other people in the
Yeah.
meantime.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Very unexpected and cool. Yeah. Indeed. Yeah. With that, I have to trust more now than with money, so I should also trust it. No, but I feel those are only manifestations of beautiful new people coming my way. So now I also need to use that feeling for other aspects of my life.
What does it mean? Because I feel that something is there. Worries about money, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. To be honest, maybe it's too much also for this podcast. Or yeah,
Ah,
sorry, I don't want
okay.
to interrupt you, of course.
No, 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 it's okay.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, we are going at the end of, yeah, at the end more or less. But I feel that I don't want to let you go with this,
Okay. Then we
with this
continue.
feeling. Um, what does it mean? Uh, what do you mean by saying that you need to trust when it comes to money?
Yeah, so, also a good question. Um, I don't know. I just have often feelings of lack around it or fear that there won't be enough at the end of the month, so that I could learn more. Since in those 29 years of my life, it has been all right, always. Uh, but also, I guess I want some things like maybe for a trip, and then I don't have the money now. Um, yeah, I don't know. I cannot really explain. But I feel there's so many lack beliefs still that I want to remove and clean the
So
slate.
I so much understand you, because I have the same experience also, experiencing physical limitations for what I want to experience, like
Yeah,
to go to some activities, to allow myself to pay for this, that, and another, to travel, right? And everything needs, okay, it's normal to believe that everything needs money, but it's a limiting belief. You
yeah,
can
true,
manifest without money also. Um,
true.
from my experience, I could say that that limitation puts you in, how to say, in stillness, in no action position, in no experience position. Uh, I see it as a help for you to connect back to yourself, because if you expose yourself too much on the outside when you are not ready, when you are in a transformative period of your life, it will not help you. So maybe now it's time for you to, and it just maybe now it's time for you to cleanse your energy from external environments by staying more with yourself.
Mm. As in alone, in solitude.
I
or
mean, not to go out that much, like for traveling, like you
yeah,
said,
yeah.
liked and so on. So,
Ah, so that this is sort of needed right now, and I should just surrender to that instead of wanting more.
uh,
Is that what you try to say?
now very will be very beautiful ending actually with this. Always want more, but surrender to what is.
Hmm. I like that quote indeed as an ending. Beautiful.
Because it with wanting more, that's what you are creating for yourself. And it
Uh-huh.
is coming. Why we humans prolong, and I'm not sure if we are even able to prolong, but probably we prolong our manifestation when we judge what is.
Oh, damn,
Because
that's
when
also
we
something.
judge what is, we are getting more of what is.
Whoa, okay. I never thought of that. Now that makes me stop judging immediately.
So,
Nice.
or in other ways, become comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Yeah, wow, powerful. Powerful.
And and that's what happened with me. I will give a very fast example. When I moved in, I was forced literally to live with my friend because I had no other option. It was too high prices for that time. And I so much didn't want to live with that friend. And I didn't have a choice. And I was judging all the conditions that I was in from the center. I dropped into the somewhere outside of the city almost, and I was like, "No, this is shit. I don't want it." I did all my best to escape. I was looking for new places, new apartments, and as more I was pushing against what is, as more I was getting what is, and I couldn't find new place. But then somehow for me came the feeling and the thought that the best place to be at is when I don't judge. And the moment I stopped judging and started becoming comfortable with what is and seeing benefits actually in what is, very fast I found a new apartment
Wow,
and I moved.
great. That's great. That's also, in a sense, the letting go of the desire a little bit because you're already happy with what is right now. So you're more relaxed
It's
towards the
I would
result.
say it's letting go of the not of the desire but of your timing for the desire.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, nice. Nice, yeah.
And
Trust.
while you're waiting for that desire, just make sure that you do your best to feel okay now where you are.
Mm.
Just know that it's coming, and that's it.
Powerful message. Thank you for sharing.
Well, with all of that said, I guess we are ready to say goodbye to our viewers and
Yeah,
to listeners and see you in some next episodes.
sounds good. Do you end
And
it or do I end?